Many eons ago, in the mystic folds of time, there lived an insignificant little wizard. He spent most of his time dabbling in white magic, until one day, while taking a walk on the ethereal plane, he stumbled upon the all-powerful weapon, the Sword of Roak, a weapon forged in the fires of everlasting light by the great god Roak.
Cha! Magic! So! Hoo! Hee!
After many battles and victories, however, the wizard became extremely lazy, and the powerful sword became unused, and was eventually lost. Much later, the sword was found and used by the fearsome evil overlord to his own wicked end. It is your task, O mighty warrior, to regain control of the sword and to protect the future of civilization. But beware, to gain possession of the sword, you must first destroy the evil overlord.
The Overlord, you shall die!
Today we are looking at the third game from Graphic Adventures for the Spectrum 48K, written by Richard G. Hurley, published by Micropress in 1984, for original cost of £5.95. As you can see here, I've added on the nice font. So, you've heard the backstory of the plot, now the actual meat of it. The program is very long, takes up most of 48K. It's relatively simple to enter though. The map contains mostly spaces and each line contains 50 characters. The way the map works is one huge string, and going north, going south, going east and west are handled by moving around a one-dimensional array. The array is 1,350 characters long. Going north is -50, south is +50, west is -1, east is +1. This game is all about some graphics. You can do some quite nice graphics with plot and draw, and especially draw with the third attribute, which is constructing of curves. Dragon was written by Stephen Lacey and can be seen for sale here in Popular Computing Weekly number 45 for a cost of £4. Other games are available, such as The Last Jedi, copyright infringement, Advance to Mayfair, Kane and Fosby, and the Honeysuckers. The game loads and we get a really rather nice logo appearing on the screen. So this is Dragon, and now we have to press any key to play. So, let's play. Lovely title screen, nicely drawn font. And away we go. We start off with 100 strength, 100 agility, 10 skill, 10 meals, which restore our strength, no experience. We need to go and kill this evil overlord. We start out on a very long corridor facing north. There's a nice sort of 3D effect perspective, and this corridor is very long and rather boring. If you're starting off in a maze, don't start off in a really long corridor. It doesn't really excite. Oh, we've got a corner. Of our first corner, we can now turn to the right, which is to the east, so let's do that. And we come across a friendly unicorn. Something has happened. So let's ask the unicorn for help. The unicorn says to you, "The legendary Sword of Roak lies in the Temple of Death. You will need experience to get out alive. You need the key of Roak to enter." So we haven't got any experience. This tells us we need to improve our experience score in order to have a chance against the Overlord. Things to watch out for in this dungeon are dragons. If you come across a dragon, you need to fight it. Dragons are rather tough and will probably kill you, though. So let's head along this rather long corridor to the east. We have a junction to the right. Now we have a problem with the rendering. The code doesn't work absolutely fine with narrow corridors and corners. With open spaces, you get these strange fake walls. So occasionally you get areas which are 2 spaces wide, but you get sort of odd lines in between, which makes mapping much more of a pain. And I tried this out with a completely empty maze. Oh, I hear a scream. It reminds me that I'm not safe in this place. Occasional things happen. So go along this really long corridor. And we come again get these ghost walls. Because this is actually an open room. But you see what looks like a wall to the front and to the right, but it isn't actually there. So if you try and draw it on your map, you'll get very confused. So keep heading to the east. And on the ground is the key of Roak, which is lying on the ground in the maze. So we've not had to fight anything yet. Just have to find this key. It might have been better if the key was held somewhere protected. So this key protects the great sword of Roak. Guard it well. There will be a blooper reel after the main video where I go over some of the issues with the game. One of the main issues we have so far is it's a bit dull. What it could do with is some more monsters. There are 3 types of monster in the maze, but maybe random wandering monsters. Just, small things like rats or goblins. I hear a scream. It reminds me I'm not safe in this place. Just something to break it up a bit. Or maybe occasionally the walls change colour or something. Or the roof changes colour. But the actual graphics are nicely done because they're not too big, therefore they are quite fast. Here's a crossroads. Let's go to the west along another corridor. It works fine with corridors. We come across a half-man, half-bull minotaur. So let's kill the minotaur. I slash at its neck and score a hit. Blood gushes from the wound and he dies a horrible death. And that's 32 experience points. So now moving west, and from the map I've got in my hand, because I got bored of playing this after about an hour wandering around the maze, so I printed out a map. So I coded myself in BASIC, to be fair, but still, that was actually a big open room. We're now going to head down to the north. There's a corridor to the east. We're going to ignore that, move forward to the north, round the corner. You will literally just have to wander about, hoping to find stuff. On the floor there is a dragon slayer. Yes, please. So I shall take the dragon slayer. Make note that it's not an input we use. We're using a special custom. You take the dragon slayer, it'll give you the power of death over dragons. As I say, we're not using input. We're using a special enter codes. Have I pressed enter? Have I pressed backspace? Again, we've entered a bigger room to the right with ghost walls. What's to the west? I come face to face with a hydra. It is very strong. So, let's kill the hydra then. Kill or be killed. I slash at its neck and score a hit. Blood gushes from the wound and he dies a horrible death. Well, not that strong, was it? Now I have 102 experience. Excellent. Let's now head back the way we came. Down we go. Around we go. Let's head east. Let's head south around the corner. This is called. And we're now taking that junction to the east. Let's move along. There's a ghost wall. We hear a squelching noise like that of a hydra. Let's move north. We come across a half-man, half-bull minotaur. So not a hydra, it was a squelching noise like that of a cow pat. So let's kill the minotaur. The way combat works, it adds up your strength, agility, skill and your experience. I attack it from behind, driving my sword between its shoulder blades. It dies instantly. What a hero I am. Head towards the east, around a corner. Let's keep pushing to the east. So not a lot happens. I hear a squelching noise like that of a hydra. There are a few special locations in the game. Another squelching noise. It's a very squelchy dungeon. The east. The input thing is a little bit twitchy, but it just about works. Fortunately, if the first letter is correct, it will take that. It doesn't go, I don't know what E is. So you can type east or you can type E, SS or south. Either will work. Around this corner. I spent a long time wandering the maze, trying to make a map on graph paper properly, like a proper person, but the ghost walls just really confused me. Because there, it looks like a wall, but it's not really a wall, it's like a spacer. I hear a scream. It reminds me that I am not safe in this place. Let's go east. Go east. Let's go south. There's a corner coming up to the left. If we take that, we'll eventually end up in the Temple of Doom, which we get trapped in there and get to fight a load of hydras, except there's no point going in there because there's nothing in there that we need. To be fair, you could have blundered into it by accident, but we didn't. So again, ghost walls, we've got possession open room. I don't like ghost walls. Sculpturing doors that have a hydra. Head east. And then north. All these corners. I've fallen down a deep pit. Some sand broke the fall, and now we can't see anything because we're in a pit. So what we need to do is climb out of the pit. If you're not strong enough, you'll get stuck in the pit and then you'll die. Fortunately, I'm still quite strong. Now we head forwards. Again, it's open room, therefore we get weird ghost walls, which I do not like. Let's push down to the south. We have a corner. Ooh, we're getting exciting now. Something's happening. Now go to the west. We come across a dragon breathing fire. It's strange we couldn't see it before, but never mind. Dragons are very, very tough. If you don't have the Dragon Slayer or a lot of experience, they'll just probably kill you eventually. But if you kill the dragon with the Dragon Slayer, the following happens. The dragon lies dead at your feet. Then the Dragon Slayer grows hot and disappears, and gets some experience, which is nice. Because you can't get anywhere without experience. You push on towards the east. Look for me on the third day, etc., etc. I cannot go east because I've got it wrong. Let's go around this corner. There are some parts of the map that are actually unreachable, which is always exciting. But some bits of the map are dynamic and will change based on your actions. So here we're coming across what looks like a dead end. However, when you come up to it, you'll find it is in fact a portcullis. On the wall there are two keys. Which one will you choose? Key 1 or key 2. So let's try unlock portcullis with key 1. Okay, that's rather annoying. Let's try open portcullis. Open portcullis with, and you have to get this exactly right by the way, key 2. What key? Now, this is discussed in the bloopers. There I've chosen the wrong key. Open with key 2. What key? Again, we've got the key wrong. The joy of overly fussy syntaxes. Ask Unicorn for help was fine. Kill dragon with Dragon Slayer, that was fine. Also, it'd be nice if they drew the portcullis. There are other portcullises in this game, but you can't actually get to them. When you open a portcullis, what it does, it sets the square to the north and the south into open. Open portcullis with key 1. If it's the correct key, which is chosen randomly, it opens with reluctance, but now can head towards the south, which is nice. So there's a corner up ahead. Let's go east. Let's go east. Push along this corridor. Now there's a corner to the right and an open space ahead. Now that's actually a missing wall in the main game. However, it's okay because it's a single dimensional array. It just loops round to the next side. You can't go out anyway because the far side is there. In front of us stands a huge iron door. So I'm going to eat a meal because we're about to go into the Temple of Death. My strength is restored. My meals goes down to 9. Unlock door with key of Roak. Wah, wah, wah. Wah? I do not understand. Retype. Unlock door with key of Roak. Gandalf never had these problems. Well, he did, to be fair. Maybe he's trying to say open door. The key turns in the lock and it then disappears. Maybe that's what he was doing outside Moria for all those hours. Now we can open the door. We discussed this in the blooper section as well. The huge iron door swings to one side to reveal the Temple of Death. Let's go south. You enter the Temple of Death and your quest is nearly over. In front of you stands the Overlord of Roak. You must fight him to gain the Sword of Roak. So the first thing you absolutely must do in this room is attack the Overlord. If you don't, he will just kill you. So let's try and kill the Overlord. I run it through with my sword, it lies dead at my feet. Well, that was easy. Gain some more experience. So let's now take the Sword of Roak. Roak. I take the Sword of Roak. Have we now won? Nope. We've got to make our way back to the entrance. And what will be quite nice is if that little error in the code, the little cubby hole, if that was made into a little passageway, that would take us right near the start. That would be quite nice. What I have instead, though, is a rather long and rather tedious trek back through the maze. We have lots of experience. Because we have lots of experience, monsters won't be able to kill us, probably. Maybe a dragon might be able to, possibly. But we are now pretty much a double hard bastard, as I know in the trade. Let's go back down south. Open corner space isn't handled well. So if an open space isn't handled well, what you do in a game is either fix the code so it handles open space better, or you don't have any open spaces. These are the two options. So, back round to the north. Unless I coded it horribly wrong in every direction. This is where the dragon was. I did try, and in every 4 directions it didn't handle empty space. Apart from directly in front of you. Which was a shame. So now we're heading back to where we were before. Around here was the pit. It'd be nice if once you triggered the pit, perhaps it showed on the floor. So I've cut a load of bits out just for the pacing. We're now making our way back to the entrance of the maze, a slightly different route. And we've come across, on the floor, a Dragon Slayer. Remember, our last Dragon Slayer was used up. Therefore, we'll take a new one. Always come in handy to have a Dragon Slayer. Again, gives us power of death over all dragons, which is nice. Now the crossroads. This is where we went west before in order to fight the Minotaur. And I head south a little bit, do a little dog leg. We're going to hear a terrible scream. And then we're going to go back down the very long corridor towards the unicorn. But before we reach the unicorn, we are going to turn to the right, take a small detour. So up ahead is the unicorn. We are going to take that detour to the right, because up here is a dragon, which is the first thing that killed me in this game. That's why I avoided it at the start. Fortunately, I'm now armed, so dragons breathing fire do not scare me. Because I'm going to kill this dragon with the Dragon Slayer. He lies dead at my feet. We lose the Dragon Slayer. We get even more experience. You think I'd go up a level or something. Fortunately, experience itself just carries on. So this is now the very long corridor at the start. The unicorn is to the west. In order to win, you need to go along this corridor, head south until you get towards the end. Not quite your starting point, because your starting point is actually within a wall. So head towards the south, and then I should win very shortly. There's the end. I should win very shortly. And I've not won yet. And this puzzled me somewhat. Because I checked that in the code, you head south, and if you hit a certain point, which is just near where you start, and you've got the Sword of Roak, which is quest equals 1, then you win. And I've checked this in the code, absolutely fine, it's not broken, it works fine. So let's break into the program. So I'm in the right sort of position. When you go south, it adds 50 points to it. And according to the code, if O is 1152, then you win. So the relevant line is line 5810, which should read, if direction is south, add 50 to O, go sub 2000. If quest equals 1 and O is 1152, and the problem being that the winning bit, which is if quest equals 1, was missing. I forgot to type it in. Because it's, to be fair, it's unusual to have it embedded into a direction. So I missed it out. Therefore, I couldn't win. So we put it in. Easy enough to fix. I thought for a while, well, maybe go back to the start. Because I start at 1252. Which, why not go back to the start? And then we correct this, and then the next line is 5812. Again, I missed it out, because I didn't realise that line 5810 was special. Now we have the issue that if you run the program again, I will start it. Here, I can get the nice screen, but I lose all my statistics. So we're now going to head north a little bit, and then go back to the start. If I eat a meal, will it reset the statistics and display it for me? My strength is now 100, but I don't know what strength is, and my meal is now 8, but I don't know what that number means. It updates them when it changes. Let's head back down south to the start, whereupon we shall win. And that's where we started. And I've not won yet, which surprises me. Can I go a bit further south? I cannot go south. This confuses me. Quest is 1, so I've definitely got the Sword of Roak. O is 1202. Unfortunately, 1252, where we start, is inside a wall. We start inside a wall. You can move out of a wall. You can't start inside a wall. Which is interesting. And from there, to be fair, the only place we can go is north. So you can't move east, west or south. So let's correct the code to what it was originally written as. Back to 1152. So in theory from here, if I head south, well done, I have completed the adventure. The Sword of Roak is now safe in the hands of Mistrain. Nevermore will the Overlord rule the earth. Another go, yes, no. If you say no, it does new. And now, the blooper reel. So this is the blooper reel. When I was typing in the game, I had some thoughts that things didn't quite work properly. So one of the issues you have is the end game, which is the opening the lock of the key of Roak. So what I'm going to do is, before I actually played the games, try out the end bit just to make sure that it works. So the idea is you need to find the key of Roak to open the door to the Temple of Death. So that's where we are. And we're now at the front of the huge iron door. I've just skipped ahead. I've changed my position to be there. I'm now going to try and open this door. And we're told the door is locked. Okay. So how do we solve this? We unlock the door with the key of Roak, which I do not possess. I do not possess the key of Roak. I'm just going to try opening it anyway with the key of Roak, as if by magic. The key turns in the lock and it then disappears. It then sets the variable so that you no longer possess the key of Roak. Let's now try opening the door. The door is locked, so it doesn't actually unlock the door. The way when you unlock the door, it sets the door to from L to a space. Unlocking the door doesn't change the state. This is not ideal. So what I'm going to do here is use the key variable in order to cope with the state of the door. There is only one locked door in the entire maze. So open door is basically, if the key setting, which is key OR, key of Roak, is less than 2, so you've either not got the key or you've not unlocked the door yet, then it's locked. So now we just go to the unlocking of the door section, where instead of setting key of Roak to 0, we're going to set it to 2. The other alternative would be change the capital L to perhaps a lower L or something. Can't set it to D for door, because D is the Temple of Doom. Here we are. So if you've got the key, key OR is 1, you're in possession of the key of Roak, therefore you can unlock it. What we don't now do is, if you don't have the key, it doesn't tell you, but it's not the end of the world. At least the unicorn tells you to get the key, and the unicorn is hard to miss. Set it to 2. Excellent. The next problem is the way the map works. There are letters representing things. So the Overlord is represented by the letter S. Unfortunately, the letter S is also representing the Dragon Slayer, and that has priority. So enter the Temple of Death, there is the Dragon Slayer. We don't get to see the Overlord because there's a Dragon Slayer there instead. In order to, you can then just take the Dragon Slayer. Taking the Dragon Slayer sets the character to space. So you think, oh, how do you take the Sword of Roak then? You can take the Sword of Roak if you're in this one specific location, and the setting of the character in this location is space, which you've just done either by killing the Overlord or by taking the Dragon Slayer. So what I did in the code is change the Dragon Slayer character to the letter Y. I couldn't use D, that's Temple of Doom. So again, we have to go and fight the Overlord, and you can never actually meet him. Other issues, there is a Temple of the Kings somewhere in the maze, which is controlled by the letter N. It's just there for a bit of variety. You can never actually see it. And we really, really do need wandering monsters, because otherwise it is awfully, awfully dull. So the portcullis also doesn't quite work. So we see here, we have a portcullis, and there are 2 keys. You have to open the portcullis with a key, pick key 1 or pick key 2. If you pick the correct key, it opens. If you pick the wrong key, you're meant to die. In fact, the code has written if you pick the wrong key, it goes, what key? As if you've not specified the key, which is less than ideal. The key is chosen as a random number, which is 1 or 2, and put into a variable called RND, which is not very easy and practical because RND is also a function. And in the code, RND the function, RND the variable are completely indistinguishable. Please don't do this. And it is generated whenever you enter the portcullis square. This is after my first attempt at fixing it. So key 2 in this case should have sent me to a horrible death. The random number is 1, key 2 is therefore wrong, I should have died. So what I tried to do was some logic where if the 5th word in the string is neither 1 nor 2, then you go what key? Unfortunately, I've not quite got it right somehow or other. So I'm going to try and change this. You can see here, line 4609 is basically you dying. 4607 is you've not specified a key, but you can't get to the portcullis line. So I'm going to change this now. So if the 5th character is less than 1, and it's greater than 2, I'm not quite sure how that would work. It should be either or. But either way, hopefully we should be able to die now. Oh, no, I've got it correct, which is less than ideal. So we resource the save point. Let's try key 1. That was the correct key. Let's now try opening with key 2. So I took a quick snapshot and restore. I picked the wrong key, an abyss opens below me and I fall until I hit the bottom. You are dead. And we get a little cross. Your score is made up of all your points. That typo GP is my fault, not the game's. So that was Dragon. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.